Good evening and welcome to Studio 10 Talks. I am Patrick Cassidy, the Artistic Director for Studio 10. Welcome here on February 7th. We have another incredible show for you tonight. You know, I see that opening and I'm mesmerized by the people that have done this show. And everybody's smiling, and of course I'm just like laughing like hysterically because everybody's so funny. I mean, Nathan Lane, pretty funny, right? Debbie Gibson, fairly funny. And then of course Stephen Sondheim and John Weidman, like, very serious. But I just can't get over the people that have done this show. And boy, do we have somebody great tonight. But before that, I want to bring on my cohort in crime. She's the producer of this show. She's amazing. Please welcome Julie Garnier. Hi,
Hello,
Julie.
my friend. Hi.
How are you? Julie, tell our viewers where you are tonight.
Oh, I am in sunny, beautiful Palm Springs.
Beautiful. And is it sunny and beautiful?
It has been all day. Yeah. It's been really, really gorgeous. I woke up with the sunrise. It was stunning. I forgot to close my window, which is why I woke up with the sunrise. But
and your internet service is a little slow in the La Quinta Inn where you're staying, right?
yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a little bit choppy. Sorry about that.
Are you at the La Quinta?
I'm in La Quinta, but I'm not at the La Quinta.
I had no idea.
I'm in La Quinta, the city of La Quinta, but I'm actually in this gorgeous home. I'm here to start rehearsals for a show at Coachella Valley Repertory Theater. They're doing Closer Than Ever, and I am playing. I guess this is my announcement because I was going to do it on the internet tomorrow during the first day of school, but I am playing Woman 2. In Closer Than Ever, the Sally Mays track. I like to call it Sally Mays track.
I played Man 1 before in some other show. I can't remember what it was, but I was Man 1. I don't know what it was. It was with Jason Gra and myself.
Yeah, so we start rehearsals tomorrow. So I'm here getting kind of settled in and ready to go, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
So great to see you. Do we have anything to plug before we bring on tonight's amazing guest?
We do. So this show can't happen without our viewers and the people that love the content that we bring them. And so we are looking for a little bit of financial support so we can keep bringing you shows like this and incredible Broadway stars. And, the only way we can do it is with your support. So if you could support us by messaging STT to that phone number right there, 202-858-1233, and make a donation, and we can keep the lights on, so to speak, on Studio 10 Talks, because we love doing this.
That's exactly right. And we get incredible people that donate their time and their incredible talent to helping us. So please donate, please help. I got to show you something, Julie, show our viewers. So I got, you're like, you open the mailbox, you say, okay, I got another bill today. You got what?
Oh, yeah.
I got a Valentine's Day card. Hand-painted, handwritten and hand-painted by the incredible Mr. William Ivy Long. Take a look at this.
Oh, come on. Look at how...
Wait,
it's sparkly. He added sparkles, too. I can't.
And for those of you who don't know who William Ivy Long is, he's only the most successful costume designer in the history of the Broadway theater. In the history. And I'm going on record as saying that. Anyway, so wasn't that nice to get? I'll be framing that.
That's so lovely.
Anyway, Jules, I'll see you in a little bit. We will bring you back. I can't wait. Have fun. Have fun.
Thanks. You have fun too.
I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Our guest tonight is the incredible Donna Murphy. Donna Murphy's award-winning performances in the theater, film, and television have forged her a career of exceptional diversity, impressing both audiences and critics with her depth and skill. She has done nine Broadway shows, including They're Playing Our Song, the human comedy, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, Passion, for which she won a Tony Award for, The King and I, Wonderful Town, Love Music, The People in the Picture, Hello, Dolly. Dolly Levi, we're going to talk about that. Television, Someone Had to Be Benny, a Daytime Emmy Award, Gossip Girl, The Gilded Age, which we're going to talk about. She's currently on that. And she's played four characters in 3 different Law and Orders. Oh, I want to get photographs of that. On film, she did Star Trek, The Insurrection, She was Rosalie Octavius, Alfred Molina's wife in Spider-Man 2, and of course Disney Animation's Tangled. Please welcome friend. Haven't seen her. It's so good to see her. Miss Donna Murphy.
Hello, Patrick.
Hi, Donna Murphy. Oh, God. You know, I was thinking, I reached out for you to do the show, and I hadn't spoken to you or talked to you right when the show began. Like literally when the show began, and now we've been doing the show a year and a half plus, right? And now to have you on the show, I think like I can't believe that you're here. It took you that long to call me back. No, it didn't.
Well, I'm so
How have you? First of all, how are you?
I'm well. I'm very good. Very good, thanks.
You look absolutely stunning.
Oh, you're kind.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. I want to talk about. I have so much to talk to you and ask you about and stuff, but you also did one of the things I didn't mention in my unveiling of you and your musicals and stuff. You also did a musical with my brother at the Burt Reynolds Dinner Theater, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did.
We'll talk about that later. It was called Dangerous Music, but
Danger. I hear the music. Danger, danger. Okay, a little flashback there.
That was the song. Oh, that was the music. Oh,
Title song.
Oh, I want to ask you specifics about that, but I want to go back first. I want to go back to your first Broadway show. Now, true, your first Broadway show. Did you actually like leave college to go do They're Playing Our Song and become a swing? Is that true?
I did. I was a sophomore at NYU. I was. It was not a musical theater program. I was in the undergrad drama department at NYU and studying with Stella Adler at the conservatory, and she was still with us.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite amazing and intimidating at the same time to study with her. But I really think was an influence that I could not imagine. I couldn't really have the foresight to understand the effect that she would have on the rest of my life in my work as an actress and as a human. But I definitely didn't get it my freshman year, and maybe I started to get it my sophomore year. But in the meantime, I missed singing. So I would sneak off to open calls, chorus calls for Broadway shows, for non-equity chorus calls. And I was doing that, and I was occasionally getting callbacks, but it was just fun for me. I wasn't thinking I was going to get a job. It was just a chance to sing, to stand on a Broadway stage. I think the first time I did that was before I even started classes at NYU. Somebody told me about Backstage. I got a copy of Backstage. There was an open call for replacements for a revival of Hair happening at that time. So I had long hair. I did tons of tiny little braids. I had my 16 bars they told me to have ready of something from the Me Nobody Knows, is my choice. And I got typed in, and I got to sing on a Broadway stage, and they asked me to come down and talk to them, and they said, now when you come back, and they asked me to make a few adjustments in the way I looked and to have this prepared, to prepare something else. And then I never heard from them. And I thought, well, that is friggin' show business.
Welcome to the club.
By fire. And then I found out from some friends who were in the business like a month later that the show had closed like the end of that week. And so I took it very personally that I never got called back. There were no callbacks. But anyway, so lo and behold, my sophomore year, I'm taking a class called Survival in the Theater. And one of our assignments, everyone was assigned to go to an open call. And I'm like, oops, did that. But anyway, you had to go to an open call, find something in one of the trades and choose that, go to the call, prepare for it, go, and then come back and report on it. So I chose an open call for swings for They're Playing Our Song, which was had just opened.
So Robert Klein and Lucy were in it.
It was Robert and Lucy. They'd done it in LA, and then they'd opened it in New York on Broadway, and they had one female swing and one male swing, but the female swing was more of a dancer and was the dance captain. ultimately married Manny Eisenberg, they had things worked out very well for her.
Yeah, I wish I had married Manny Eisenberg.
But anyway, I auditioned. They needed to bring in additional swings for the show now that they knew it was a hit, and it was a hit. So I auditioned and I got typed in, and I had several callbacks. And I'll never forget. Did you ever work with Pat Birch, Patrick?
No, I know. I totally know who she is. Absolutely, yeah.
Legendary, and she was the choreographer. And I'm not a dancer. I mean, I've had to dance on stage, but I'm not a trained dancer. And I just need time to get it in the old.
I'm the exact same way.
And sometimes, people have seen me in shows and said, "You're really a dancer." I'm like, no. I mean, really, the case is that we had a really good choreographer who was really patient and found out what looked good on my body.
Right.
Anyway, so in this situation, I had sung and had been called back, and we were now dancing it was the Singers Who Move Well group, and we were moving in small groups, and our group got up, and she said, listen, everybody, I want you to watch this girl, and she points to me.
Wow.
I want you to watch her from the neck up, because she really has character, and she probably said
she's got it all going on from here up.
Do not watch what's going on below, because she's all over the place. I was like,
I love that. That's so great.
And hit it. I was, thank you. It was, I'll never forget that. And then I got the gig.
Yeah, well, it was the first of many, because I want to tell you that led you down a path of obviously 9 Broadway shows, all musicals. I'm going to ask you about a play in a second, but that got you to so then let's fast forward, because I know you did stuff, but I want to go to Passion, because, well, obviously I told you the story I have with Passion with you.
Yes.
And I'll just quickly, I'm going to do it abbreviated. So it came down to Jerry Shea and I for Passion, and Donna worked with me on my audition, was so gracious and helped me, and I went in there and failed miserably. And I didn't get the part, but she did, and you were so unbelievable. You won your first Tony, right? That was your first Tony you won. It was Passion, right?
Well, I ever originated on Broadway.
Unbelievable. I have a clip that I want you to set up for us. It's the clip with you and Jerry Shea, who beat me out, who was fantastic in the show. And Fosca sings the song "I Read." What is this? What is happening in this moment?
Okay, so Fosca is a woman. It's 1860s. She is living with her cousin, who is a colonel in the army in a rural outpost in Italy. And she is not married. She was married, but her husband kind of, he was scamming her basically for her money, and he left her. And her parents have died, and so her cousin takes care of her. And she is not well. She has seizures, and is frequently not able to really get out of bed. So she's been living this very desolate life with all men, other than maybe the servants in the house. And there's a new gentleman captain who has been posted to this location. And Giorgio is a very handsome man. And she certainly notices that from her window, as is often said in the piece. But he hears her when she has these seizures. She screams. She has these very kind of hysterical seizures, and he hears her. And the other soldiers sort of joke about her. But there's a doctor on the premises, and he explains a little bit about her. And they tell him that she loves to read, and he says, "Oh, well, I have some books, and I'd love to, send them up to her," because there's a joke about how at this point she's reading, army manuals or something. So he sent some books up to her, and one in particular is an extremely romantic novel, and I read the novel. It's now I can't remember the name of it, which is embarrassing, but it was a very, very romantic novel, and I think she misread his intentions, but she's also a very, very defensive woman because of knowing that she's not an attractive woman, certainly by standard at that time. And she's been rejected by almost every man in her life except her father and her cousin. So this is the first time they actually meet. And I don't know if she's already come down the stairs.
No, they're at the table.
They're at the table. Okay, so she comes downstairs. It's a big dramatic descent because it takes every ounce of energy for her to get down the stairs. It's a big deal. And she's sitting with him and trying to be conversational, but she's, well, we'll see.
Take a look. Donna Murphy, Fosca, Passion.
I so enjoyed the novel by Rousseau.
Oh, it's wonderful. My favorite, really.
The character of Julie is a great mystery.
Well, then you should have kept the book longer to meditate over.
I do not read to think. I do not read to learn. I do not read to search for truth. I know the truth. The truth is hardly what I need. I read to dream. I read to live in other people's lives. I read about the joys the world dispenses to the fortunate and listen for the echoes. I read to live.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow, so beautiful. Oh my gosh. You know, we just lost Mr. Sondheim this year. And the loss of losses, you know, I told you when we talked before the show that I was so blessed because he did, one of the last interviews he did was this show, and got to talk with him at 91 years old. What was your experience like creating a Sondheim show? Because I have my own on that. What was that like for you? Because every actor's dream, right?
It really was a dream of mine. And I'd seen Sunday in the Park with George at a point where I was really considering leaving the business. And seeing that show really shifted my perspective hugely. And I just thought, I need to do some of this man's material. I don't care where I do it. I need to do it. And it hadn't happened before Passion. I'd had a number of auditions for productions of his, for Into the Woods on Broadway for The Witch, and then for The Baker's Wife later on when Joanna Gleason, the great Joanna Gleason, was leaving, for several productions of Merrily We Roll Along. And anyway, it wasn't meant to be, and Passion came up, and there were little things that seemed to almost be getting in the way of my being able to make my audition for that. But the universe sort of just fell into place to support my at least having a shot at it. And I was offered the workshop. And to me, it's the only downside of it is that I thought nothing will ever feel like this. There can never creating with the geniuses of Steve James Lapine, and creating a character that allowed me to use aspects of myself and aspects of my craft that are rarely found in a musical. Such a complex character, and we were building it, you know, and so we were in conversation about it as it was happening. For me, there was only one piece of music that was fully written when I auditioned, and that was I Read.
Mm.
And so James would stage these monologues or scenes that he'd written, and Steve was writing the musical to them as we were doing the workshop. And part of the reason they said that we did the workshop when we did it, even though the score wasn't ready, was Steve likes to work under pressure, and he works
Right.
well under pressure.
Yep.
So they said, let's get the workshop going, and this will start to, flow from him. And it did. And I just had to pinch myself a lot.
Don, I have to tell you, I had worked 10 years in the business, done 2 Broadway shows, done a television series, done multiple film things. But it wasn't until I got Playwrights Horizon's Assassins that all of a sudden my career went to another level. And it was simply because I was originating a Sondheim show. And from there, it just kept going that way. But that moment, and that's why, I was so fortunate this past year to have had many correspondences with Steve because he did this show and other things. He sent me a beautiful thing of Sending the Clowns, where he did all the notes and the lyrics and stuff. He calls it a musical autograph. And but he changed my life. It changed my career. And for you too, I would say, wouldn't you say though, after that moment, your career went to even another place?
Oh yes. I mean, it was the level of respect for him, and he and James had already written 2 remarkable shows together.
Right.
Sunday in the Park with George and Into the Woods. So while the audiences were quite divided on Passion, it was kind of controversial, and the perception of my character in particular was difficult for some people.
Mm-hmm.
But people would say, "Wasn't that hard?" And I would say, "No." I mean, there were moments that I just felt like, what do we need to do that isn't compromising the character just to make her more palatable, to the point where we're not telling the real story of this very difficult woman and difficult situation. But I so trusted Steve and James, and I just blessed every moment that I was there. And yes, I mean, I remember, after that job, also because of the kind of role it was, people who wanted to see me for plays. I was being offered plays, I was being offered films, I was being offered television series. And they weren't characters like Fosca, because no one knew what I really looked like, but they knew there was an actress in there, and I was given opportunities,
Right.
and that I didn't have before. That's not the greatest gift. The greatest gift was just everything I witnessed in that room, everything I learned in that room. I mean, in the rehearsal rooms and in the process, and in conversations with Steve and with James. It was, there'll never be anything like it. And he changed my life, and he definitely is, one of the most important people in my life.
Well, as a result of that, you got to do an incredible moment with all you amazing women, and all in red. Lane Stritch and Patti LuPone and Bernadette Peters and Marion Macy. And who else was Audra there too? Was it? I can't. Yeah. Of course, Audra. A lot of them have already done the show. Take a look at this. Donna Murphy doing the Sondheim tribute.
Could I leave you? No, the point is, could you leave me? Well, I guess you could leave me the house, leave me the flat, leave me the Brocs and Chagalls and all that. You could leave me the stocks for sentiment's sake, and 90% of the money you'll make, and the rods and the cooks. Darling, you keep the drugs, Angel, you keep the books. Honey, I'll take the grand sugar, you keep the spinach, and all of our friends, and just wait a goddamn minute. What? Leave you? How could I leave you? Sweetheart, I have to confess. Could I leave you? Yes. Will I
were you able to get?
This is a little doll that somebody sent me as a gift. It's literally me at that concert, including the hair.
That comes right down at the right
That's
appropriate
blood.
moment.
I had to grab it. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh.
Probably the most important aspect of that moment, but just a little.
How you got the hair to fall just on the guest is
It
amazing.
wasn't planned, darling. It wasn't.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Happy incidents. That night was just unbelievable. We all felt like we were, like, because of Steve, we belonged to this unbelievably privileged club.
Yeah.
You know, we were all children of his. We were all of our lives had been changed forever because of him. And it was astounding. We did it 2 nights, actually. 2 nights.
I'm going to produce the male version of that, and we're all going to wear red as well. Because you all look stunning. I mean, stunning, all of you. I mean, it's an amazing, and if people haven't seen it, go to YouTube and watch that. It is absolutely remarkable.
It's his 80th birthday celebration.
Wow. So I mean, and I was looking, when you read your bio, and I got to read everybody's bio, I feel so like privileged to know people, to have worked with people with these. I mean, The King and I with Lou Diamond Phillips, and Wonderful Town, and Love Music with Michael Cerveris. I mean, you've done some unbelievable musicals on Broadway. Look at this, and these are all the playbills from the ones you did.
Yeah.
And then, of course, most recently, didn't you? The last show was Dolly.
Yeah, so that was a very unusual situation because my husband Sean had passed away in March of 2016 from cancer, and I actually, like a month and a half after he passed, I had to travel back to Richmond, Virginia to do a second season of a show that I had done for PBS. I mentioned earlier with Gary Cole, called Mercy Street. And my daughter was 10 years old, and I just lost her dad. And I have older stepdaughters too, but the little one was 10. And it was a very traumatizing time. I was grateful for the work, but it was very hard to have to travel away from her. She came with me a lot. I came back every chance that I could. She spent time with family in Massachusetts, but I don't wish that experience on anybody dealing with loss of a child, or the child most importantly. But I promised her, because she asked me to, she said, "Mommy, I'm glad we got through that, but will you promise me that you won't go away to work?" And I said, "I promise you I won't do that for a long time." And I don't, maybe I can't put a timeline on it, but I know at least for a year or two, no, I'm not going to go away to work. I just knew it wasn't a healthy thing. Mm-hmm. So I also knew I couldn't be gone 6 days a week and her entire weekends and every night. She just had suffered too much loss, and my husband had been ill, very private about it for a long time, but he'd been ill on and off for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of her life, and I had to be very careful about what I chose to do. At the same time, I had to support us. So I was looking for that TV series that was shooting in New York, and auditioning for quite a few of them that summer. And then I got this call about something that my reps had been talking with producers and management about the possibility of, and have been waiting to bring to me, and it was to alternate one performance a week with Bette Midler, who had been cast to play Dolly Levi in this huge, production of Hello, Dolly. That was happening, and when I read she was doing it, I was like, "Bing! That is perfect casting." I was so excited about the event of it. I've been a huge fan of hers. many years. And so this offer sounded very odd to me. I just couldn't imagine like dropping in to a role like that, in a show like that, once a week. I mean, I've understudied and I've replaced, not in a long time, but I'd actually withdrawn from War Paint, which I'd been workshopping and doing readings of with Patty for years, because Sean was ill and I knew I wasn't going to Chicago, and at a point I knew we just had to stop our negotiations and move on. And so to then be thinking about doing one show a week, and it was just, I thought, I remember I burst into tears afterwards. And then I said, called them back and I said, you know what, send me the script, because the truth is I saw the movie. I feel like I've seen the show because I've seen a lot of numbers, but I hadn't really seen the whole show on stage, and I'm embarrassed to say. And then I read the script, and like on the third page was a monologue to her, beloved deceased husband. And I said, oh my God, I definitely can't do the show. It's too close. Just too close. And then I talked to, I had like 3 friends who are not like buddies with each other. They're from different areas of my life, but they're the people who I really, really trust when I'm making decisions, and just would like to bounce it around, something around, especially now that Sean wasn't around and he was my number one, of course. So,
who, by the way, amazing actor, your husband.
Yeah, he was
what a talented man. Wow.
Thank you.
Such a loss.
He was. So without exception, each one of these people heard everything I had to say, and they all kind of agreed with how bizarre a situation it could be. But in the end, they all said, but you know, Donna, I kind of think this could be just a perfect fit for what your personal needs are, and a way to still have you on stage playing one of the great classic roles. It will be an event in itself, just that you're there, once a week, and you can be home with your girl.
Yeah.
And once you get past rehearsal and stuff, it'll be a very predictable schedule, and that's what she needed: consistency and stability, and knowing exactly where Mama was. And then she got to come to the theater, which was a great thing. It became another family for her, So it was in many ways a beautiful, beautiful experience. And playing opposite David Hyde Pierce, if I only got to do a quarter of the show with him once, I would have done it.
It sounds like, there you are as Mrs. Dolly Levi.
Holly Gallagher Levi.
Look at you. Wow. I'll tell you, Donna, I had the opportunity to be the standby for Mr. Jackman in The Boy from Oz. But the difference is they didn't offer me one show. And I knew that if I stood by for him, that if he went out, I'd never go on. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. He went out and they closed the show until he was back. So I said no. But for one performance, I would have done it.
It was a very different situation because I was advertised, so people knew when they were buying a ticket on a Tuesday night, which was the first round that I did, because then Bette and I came back later to close the show, and then I was, I think, Sunday afternoons. But the point is that because it was different than getting a call, oh, you're on, or oh, that's out, but you're not on. There was an understudy. There was an understudy who was there for, and if she was out any other night, that person went on.
Well, I think in honor of that show, and we play a little game on this show, and it's called Remember the Lyric.
Oh, crap.
And this game, the way this works is, it's a very easy game. You're going to love this. Julie, do we have our little Remember the Lyric thing to put up there? There it is. There is Remember the Lyric. So I'm going to sing a lyric from a show you did. In this case, Hello, Dolly. And I'll point to you, and then you come back with me with the next lyric. Are you ready?
I think so.
Here we go. I'm going to make it really easy. Hello, Donna. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong.
You're looking swell, Harry. I can tell. I'm going to make up a name. Larry. That wasn't it. You're still glowing, you're still crowing, you're still going strong.
I feel the room swaying while the band's playing one of our old favorite songs from way back when.
So, I don't know what
So
keyword.
take a rap, fellas. Find a lucky rap.
Lap, fellas. Dolly, I'll never go away again.
Oh, yay! And you are awesome. Thank you so much. You know why I play this game? So I get to sing Hello, Dolly with Donna Murphy.
And
Thank
one point
you.
you were swaying this way and I was swaying the other, and I said, see, singers who move well.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Fun.
so I want to talk about, because you talked about Sean and I want to talk about your personal life a little bit. And you were born in Corona, Queens, New York, right?
I was. My
Eldest
mom-
of 7?
Yes,
Are you close with all your siblings?
I am. There's 5 girls and 2 boys. My mom had the first 5 in 5.5 years, and she's still alive to tell the tale.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even figure out the math of that until many years later, and it was physically painful to just even think about that.
Just to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel the pain thinking of it.
Exactly. And then she had her 2, her Irish miracles, as she called them. She thought she was in early menopause, and she had Kathleen and Kevin, and then my youngest sister, Kate. They're 10 and 12 years younger than me.
Wow.
But we're 5 girls and 2 boys. And we all grew up out along, well, I was born in Corona, my brother was born in Corona, and then my parents got a little house out in Hauppauge, Long Island. And my dad was an aerospace engineer, and my mom was trying to, I don't know what she was trying to do, just manage all of us. And my dad was then transferred up to northeast of Boston. And we lived in a little town called Topsfield,
Massachusetts, right?
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you moved to Long Island, then to Topsfield, Massachusetts, where'd you go to high school?
Masconomet Regional High School. It was
Masconomet Regional High School. So do you remember a little show called This Is Your Life? It was hosted by Ralph Edwards. Do you remember that show? You might be a little young for it, but anyway, I was on that show when they did This Is Your Life, Shirley Jones. I was 9 years old.
Oh my God!
I was on it, and my brother Sean was on it, and Ryan was on it, my dad was on it, my brother David, the whole thing. Well, we're going to do this little moment of This Is Your Life, Donna Murphy. So back in Topsfield at your high school, you had a friend there, and this friend. He was a very close friend. He's a close friend of yours today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our surprise guest, Mr. Lance Roberts.
Sneaky doodle.
How are you?
Monday night. You don't have a show tonight.
No show tonight, and I'm enjoying the 2 of you. And I was just thinking how lucky people were. They're seeing like 2 Sondheim performers at once, and you guys were just talking about you're singers who move well, but you're also actors.
Yeah,
that's what makes a great Sondheim performer, and both
actors
of you
that move adequately
after 4 weeks of rehearsal. But I mean,
you, Lance, it's such a pleasure. I've watched your show. You're amazing.
Thank you, Patrick.
Oh my gosh, I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you. Now, I do want to tell you, Patrick, that I saw you when you were younger because Phineas Newborn III is one of my best friends, and all of you guys from Beverly. So I saw you guys.
Donna, Phineas and I, we went to high school.
Yes, high school people. Yeah.
Isn't it the best though? I mean, yeah.
I have some. Wait a minute. I've got some. Julie, throw up some of those photographs that we have. There they are. There they are. The band. What else? What else do we have there?
We were in a band.
Yeah, we were in the rock. That's nice. We both look like somebody just squirted us in the eye with something.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
So, look at that. Whose birthday is that?
Donna's birthday.
Mine. There's Lance at sweetie.
Oh my God. and that.
Oh,
You guys look amazing. Did
yeah.
did you share leads in high school shows or any of that together?
We
Donna, now do you realize what's happening right now? Because the show that Donna and I met on, the very first show, she was Donna. Do you know who you played
Uh,
in our very first show in 10th grade?
in 10th grade.
And Rick was your leading man.
Oh, dear God, the play,
and
Romanoff and Juliet.
not me and Juliet, but
Romanoff.
Patrick's mom played the same role.
Oh, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Oh,
That was my junior year.
That was junior year?
you were Lori in Oklahoma?
The worst Lori.
No, she was not.
No, you weren't.
No, she was not. She was phenomenal. And I mean, we could tell like high school stories, but we did a lot of shows. But what people don't realize, like, I mean, we've known each other since high school, which was only 5 or 6 years ago.
Right.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
how long it took me to lose the hair.
And for mine to go white.
Yeah. But we also were in a band. We had a radio show. We did speech together. We did like so many things together, not only shows, but Oklahoma. And sad to say,
Together.
what was it?
We recorded 2 studio albums.
2 albums. We were on, if people are from the Boston area, we were on community auditions twice.
That was like a local Star Search.
Well, and I hear Lance, because we got to plug you now. I hear, Lance, that Donna is going to be your date for this opening of this little Broadway show that you're about to open in. Is that true?
Yes.
You're opening in The Music Man, my friend.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Just a little show we like to call The Music Man.
Yes, we're very, very excited. It's thrilling. I'd imagine I've seen a couple of other shows off Broadway and on Broadway, and it's just seeing the audiences come back. You can tell it is palpable how people are so excited just to be in a room together and having a shared experience that it's like, you know, I never know about what critics are going to think or whatever, but right now, to tell you the honest God truth, I don't think it matters because it's all about the audiences just coming back and allowed to just be joyful. And so I'm looking forward to Thursday just to experience the joy again. And everyone's going to be there. Like, this is going to be old school like they did in the 50s. All the critics are going to be there on opening night with the stars, with the audience. It's going to be thrilling.
That's great. Do you, among other things, are you one of the salesmen? Do you get
I am.
What salesman are you?
I'm the one who actually says he's a music man. He's a music man, and he sells clarinets.
To the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big breast bass, and the piccolo, the uniforms too, with the shiny gold braid on the coat and a big red well, I don't know much.
Yes.
That shows a little in my system, you know.
Yes.
Baby.
Also, your mother played Marion.
Do you guys know it's like family lore? It's become theater lore for me. Do you know that I was conceived on the set of that movie? Do you know that?
Oh, but yes, I think I'd heard something like that.
You knew.
Okay. Do you know the story, Donna? I mean, I'll tell you quickly. So my mother, she became pregnant with me during the filming of it, and the director said they can't tell anyone because she thought that Warner Brothers would fire her. So they didn't tell anyone, including Robert Preston. And they were doing Till There Was You on the footbridge. And they were singing. And she was like 3 months pregnant at this point. And they went to kiss. And from underneath her petticoat, he felt.
No way.
And he stopped the take. He said, "What the heck was that?" And she said, "That's Patrick Cassidy." Honest to God, true. And then the addendum to the story is 20 years later, I was doing Night of 100 Stars in New York, and Robert Preston was there. I had never met him, and I went to his dressing room, and I knocked on the door, and I said, "Excuse me, I have to introduce myself, Mr. Preston. My name is Patrick Cassidy." And he stepped back, and he said, "Oh, no, thank you. We've already met."
So you've always been in show business?
Always. From the moment I came out, I was doing trouble.
Oh my goodness. With a capital P.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it, Lance. I can't wait to see it again.
Well, thanks for having me on, and it's really, really lovely watching you, listening to you guys, and especially talking about the Sondheim stuff. That was just fantastic. And Donna, I can watch you sing "Could I Leave You" over and over and over again. I mean, it's just spectacular. It's like she's always been spectacular, and yes, I'm a little biased, but she really is. And I can't wait to see you on Thursday. And I see a bunch of people from Masco saying hello to you and saying, Patrick, what a great job. I see that. Well,
Lance,
thank you guys for having me on.
You're awesome. Shout out to Masco. Love you guys. From Rachel, Angeline. Lance, break a leg Thursday night. I know you're going to do great. Give my love to everybody over there. I know so many of them all.
Well, I can't wait to see you guys come in live and in person. We're going to be together.
I know. All right, my friend. Take care.
Ciao.
Thank you. Oh, so sweet.
Well, he's amazing. Wow, what a great thing you're going Thursday night to see your friend from school in the music, man. Oh my gosh,
just the best.
I want to talk about just that because I want to get to the Gilded Age and stuff. But you've done a remarkable amount in film and Star Trek Insurrection and Spider-Man 2. Look at that. There you are. Look at you.
Oh, that's my little Anij.
And Spider-Man 2 with Alfred Molina. Yes, didn't you play his wife?
Yeah, he is such a gem. And he was getting ready to do Fiddler, and I was getting ready to do Wonderful Town. So we were both getting ready to do these big Broadway shows while we were shooting that. Yeah. And
then, of course, Disney's Tangled, Mother Gothel, working with Alan Menken and Glenda Slater there. Wow.
I'd never done any animated projects, and to come in and get to work on a Disney project with Alan Menken and Glenn Slater and the writer-directors who were just at the top of their game, and to play a role that was so you could just do anything with her, because villains are so much fun because they have no moral code that they need to
right.
Just anything goes to get what I want. And they gave me so much there was a script and it was very specific, and they gave me lots of direction, but they also gave me a lot of free reign. They would just say, okay, now just go. You know what the scene is, just go.
Oh,
just so much fun.
Tell me about, and you got a daytime Emmy, right?
I did this film for HBO. They did a series called Life Stories, and they were all stories that had actually taken place, real life stories. And this was a story, a right to die issue, and I played a woman whose son had liver disease.
Wow.
His name was Benny Agrelo, and I played his mother, Armanda Agrelo. And this wonderful young man, Michael Schulman, played my son.
I know Michael Schulman.
He's a producer now.
He was in Assassins with me.
Oh my God, that's right.
He was like a chess playing. He was like Bobby Fischer, that kid.
Yes. Just can you flash back to those photos for one more minute, Julie? And that is my husband, Sean.
Oh, of course, yes. Oh my gosh.
Doctor, when we auditioned, that's a whole other kind of crazy story. But the director did not know that we were together, and it was a time that, like, right now I would not have been cast in that role. I played a Cuban American woman, and my husband, who was of Puerto Rican descent, played, I can't remember the character's name, but it was like, John Smith. Mm-hmm. And anyway, it was an amazing film that was shot like in 10 days, but beautifully done with an amazing cast. And I was playing the mother of, there were actresses it was an actress who was like 3 years younger than me, who was my eldest daughter. She was a grandmother. I was like 33 or 34 when I did it, I think. But yes, because it aired for the first time at 4 a.m., that was considered eligible for a daytime Emmy. I won a Cable Ace Award, and then that. And I was like, how is it a daytime Emmy? Because it aired at 4 a.m. the first time on HBO. I don't know. They had their reasons, I guess. But it was something I did after Passion. It was one of those opportunities that I feel like people were looking at me in a different way because of work I'd had a chance to do in Passion. And
so you have the Tony Award from Passion, and you have the Emmy from that. Do you put them together? Are they anywhere in your house? Are they all?
well, my Tony from Passion and my Emmy are above me, and this little built-in shelf unit here. My King and I Tony is with my mom in a little curio cabinet where she is up in Massachusetts.
Do you know, we share a similar story. I found this out tonight.
What's
so your Passion Tony was damaged. Is that correct?
Well, it just got very tarnished looking, and I didn't know exactly why that had happened.
Well, my father's, we thought was, well, we didn't think it was destroyed in the fire that took him. And so, and on my opening night in 1985, in Leader of the Pack, the Antoinette Perry Committee got together and made another one. Isn't that great? And it was presented to me. It was presented to me opening night of my show. And so it's the first time I've ever had say I didn't have a chance to get a speech, but at least they said thank you.
That's amazing. I forgot you were in Leader of the Pack, Dennis Bailey and Donna and all the great people.
Amazing show. And of course, you know. By the way, you've played 4 characters in 3 different Law and Orders. Is that right?
Okay, what did I do? I did the original Law and Order. I played 2 characters on. One was the one-off, one scene. I was so psyched. It was the first chance I'd had to do series television. I'd done soaps, but I hadn't done any series television. And so I had that, and I had my scene with Jerry Orbach, and I was a very happy girl. And then I came back and did a role that she was a prosecuting attorney, and she was a defending attorney, public defender. And we saw her one year, and then they brought her back like 3 or 4 years later, same character, Carla Terrell. Mm-hmm. And then I did Criminal Intent, and did just like the lead guest on that, which was a really well-written script that Marcia Norman actually had written the script for. And then I forget that I did SVU. I did a very small role. I believe she was a doctor. It was supposed to recur, and then I wasn't available, or maybe I was awful and they didn't ask me back. I can't remember.
I got to do one SVU, and of course, Gossip Girl. Tell us quickly about the Gilded Age. I haven't got to see it, but what an amazing cast you have for that show.
Oh my God, I think it's kind of unprecedented. There are so many people whose careers at least originated in the theater, and many of whom still work.
Well, both, isn't Kelly O'Hara? Both of you guys did Anna. Isn't she in it too?
Yeah, Kelly O'Hara. Then there's Katie Finneran on the other side of me.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it's Christine Baranski, Cynthia Nixon, Louisa Jacobson, who is Meryl Streep's daughter, who's a wonderful actress, Yale grad. Michael Cerveris, Simon Jones, Deborah Monk, Christine Nielsen. I'm going crazy. Kristen Nielsen, excuse me. Oh, come on. Oh, Celia Keenan-Bolger.
Oh my gosh.
McDonald, Danae Benton.
They just said I'm just gonna pick everybody from the theaters and even more important, the musical theater too.
You know, and a lot of us. I know I auditioned back in November of 2019. We went into pre-production, and their pre-production was spectacular, both in terms of fittings, but etiquette lessons and historians coming in and dialect coaching, and it was just very thorough. And Julian was just had so much to impart to all of us, and the whole production crew was just remarkable. And then we did some table reads of the first, maybe 4 episodes, and we were supposed to start shooting the next week or 2, and shut down. So they ended up starting in September of 2020 with the most austere protocols. I mean, they were so unbelievably careful and protective of us. They would come to my house to do my PCR tests. Really careful on the set. I think they kind of set the precedent for a lot of shows at that time. And then I was also shooting Gossip Girl, which came about later. But because both shows were on HBO and everybody was talking to one another, I was able to do both. And I'm just recurring on the first seasons of both of these shows. And then if
But
the Gilded Age goes a second season, then I'll.
It's a gift. It's a gift. The gift to have you, and they're lucky to have you. I have one more question, and then I have a question. Well, and then one more little game we're going to play. My last question is, what was it like working with Sean Cassidy?
I loved working with Sean Cassidy. he was a sweetheart. He was funny. He was smart.
Mm-hmm.
We had great conversations. You know, we had a really interesting company of people, and you know, we knew how to hang out and have a good time. We were down at the Burt Reynolds Jupiter Theater, this new musical, Dangerous Music. It was written by the team that wrote Dreamgirls, Tom Ian and Henry Krieger, and it was problematic, but you know, what do? You're working on a new show. You keep trying to make it better, and we had a great time together, and I love him.
And he speaks the same about you. He does.
It's just so astounding, you know, all the work he's done as a writer and a producer with such integrity. You know, I have great respect for your brother, and for you too, Patrick. Don't be jealous. I said.
Thank you, Donna. So our last little game that we play in this thing, it's called "You Become the Host," meaning you get to ask me one question, any question you like. I've been asked by everybody, including Sean Cassidy. So, anything you'd like to say?
Okay. Well, I know you've recently pivoted to directing and teaching. So I want you can answer this question from an actor's point of view or from a director's point of view. Is there a show and or possible / role, if it were from an actor's perspective, that you would, there was only one more show you could direct or act in your life, what would it be?
Oh gosh, a good question. Both. I'm too old for it now, but I always wanted to act in Sunday in the Park with George, and I always wanted to direct Sunday in the Park with George.
Wow. Okay. Well, go for it.
If I color my hair maybe and grow a really, really dark beard. But if I just get to direct it, I would be more than thrilled if I could just get to direct it.
It's
great question. My favorite show. Donna, you are amazing. I can't thank you so much for doing this and taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule. And I know you have a beautiful dog named Pippi, right?
Yes, I do. Tell you about our dogs had a little date this morning.
Yes, I heard it all. It was all reported.
We just rescued her, adopted her in the fall. She's a new family member, little sweetheart.
Love to you. If I get to New York, and I might just have to pick up the phone and say,
you better.
Can we have some coffee?
We can sit outside and have some coffee.
I'd love that. Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure. I adore you. All you're doing there at Studio 10, you know?
Thank you. Yeah, we're working hard. You know, it's a tough time. It's a really, as we all know. But love going to the theater. You'll be at the Winter Garden on Thursday night or Friday night, whatever, and just have a great time at the Music Man. And love to you.
Love to you.
Bye, Duns. Thank you. Wow, what a show. What a show. Julie, come on back. Come talk to me. What do you think? How about Donna Murphy, huh?
I was muted. I muted myself by accident. I was so excited about Donna. I just love her. I loved her become the host question.
I know.
What I love that segment on the show, and I think that that was one of the most brilliant questions that's ever been asked here.
Yeah, and what's for me, I mean, selfishly, for me, it's so great when people like herself ask something like that. I mean, it makes me think about something that I would never think about. It would never come up. I've remembered things from my childhood because people have asked me questions where I go, oh my gosh, I felt that back then, and that's what I want to do, and that's what I wanted to be, and I did that. All that, it's great.
Yeah, it was a brilliant question. So
So
yeah, I just loved having
let's
her.
talk about what we have coming up. Yes.
Yes, but can I just mention a couple quick things before we do that?
Yeah.
Because I'd love to close the show with that. So first of all, just want to remind everyone to support Studio Ten Talks, please. You can message us at 202-858-1233. You can send 5 cents. You can send $5,000. We're happy with any and all donations, and that will help keep our lights on, which I desperately need right now because my lighting is terrible right now. So, speaking of lighting, I have a very special thanks that I'd like to, just a quick shout out. Some friends of mine in New York, it was sort of like a chain that happened this morning where we wanted to get some extra lighting to Donna at her house. And as a result, I texted one of my closest friends, Lance Horn, and his husband, Kurt, was going to run a ring light over to them, but they were a little bit delayed. So then their friend Chris texted me and said, hey, I think my friend Seth knows somebody named David who lives a couple blocks from Donna. I've never met half of these people, but I would like to send a special thank you to Lance Horn, Kurt Phelan, Chris DeMiglio, Seth Sykes, and David Cromer. Because of them, David was able to walk over a ring light to Donna's house, and she looked beautiful tonight. And, you know, I mean, not that she doesn't look beautiful always, but she was a little brighter because of these gentlemen on the Upper West Side. And this is the magic of New York City. I just have to say, this is why I love New York, because you reach out to your people, your community of theater nerds, and one of them's going to go, I will get a ring light to Donna Murphy. Just someone's going to do it.
That's the support of the theater community.
Yeah,
that's what it's like. You know,
it's the most wonderful family to be a part of, the most incredible tribe to be a part of. So I just wanted to say thank you to them. And then finally, if anyone would like to find Donna on social media, you can do so on Instagram. It's at official Donna Murphy. Plenty of really great stuff on there to kind of catch you up or fill you in on what she has worked on, what she is working on. Just a hugely prolific career and some incredible stuff. And then also, if you can, like, YouTube stalk her, because some of the clips I found on YouTube of her are absolutely spectacular. And yeah, so there you go.
Jewel, it's so great to break a leg with Closer Than Ever. I know it's going to be a great run for you, and I know you'll be amazing in it. And let's tell our audience. So on March the 7th, we do Studio 10 Talks at the first Monday of every month, and next March 7th, who do we have on, Jules?
Harvey Fierstein.
I know. Hello, darling. It's so unbelievable, right?
Yeah, he's coming on to promote his new book.
He is.
Which I can't wait to read. I'm so excited.
I just got it, so I've got a month. I'm going to read it because I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what he has to say.
I'm so excited to read it too.
Donna is saying have a great time in rehearsal and production, Jules, and she's also saying thank you so much. So
thank you, Donna. You're so sweet.
Yeah, so that's March the 7th. Harvey Fierstein. And what do we have coming up for Studio 10?
Well, in February, to celebrate the month of love, we have Love Letters.
Yep.
And we've got two very wonderful casts happening on two specific days. On the 14th and 15th, we have Sally Struthers and Conrad John Shuck. And then on the 21st and 22nd, we have you, Mr. Cassidy, and Kathy Lee Gifford.
Yeah, it's going to be so great. I can't wait. Sally's coming into town next week, and I'm getting to direct them, and not to direct John and Sally. They're brilliant. And Kathy, who's a Franklin resident, and I are going to do it together. I'm so excited about that. And then on April the 9th, we have our huge fundraiser called Broadway's Big Top. We are putting together Broadway musicals and the circus to form an incredible show at Liberty Hall. It's going to be our big fundraiser, one night only. You do not want to miss it. You want to get your tickets for it. It's going to be great. So, Gary Morris. We have Gary Morris who's going to perform at that. So it's
cool.
Going to be a really cool thing. Anyway, Jules, you're amazing. Again, have a great time in Palm Springs. I can't wait to see you. We'll see Mr. Firestein on March the 7th.
Absolutely. I'll still be here in Palm Springs, but I'm looking forward to the next show. We're going to have a great time.
All right, sweetie. Take care. Great to see you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Donna Murphy. Thank you, Julie Garnier.
Thank you, Lance Roberts, for popping in. I love you too.
Oh, yes, Lance Roberts. Break a leg, Music Man.
Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Bye,
night.
guys.